Ready for the video?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I haven't actually.
Matthew McConaughey's book. Check it out, y'all.
This way of communicating is very intentional. I mean, because I was in, I show you this part of my hand, you cannot see this part.
What's cool about that is
if you see this, you cannot see this.
Makes
This
you
is
think
the
about
nature
how, like,
of all. In reality, existentially, nothing is contradictory, everything is complementary to everything else. Is the day
Present practice. What's conscious? This is Vish and
Ben.
And today we'll be responding to SADHGURU's video on
In conversation with Matthew McConaughey.
My name is Vish, and I'm an aspiring yogi, love all things wisdom, meditation, yoga based. Super grateful to have Ben on the show. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ben Ballard. I'm a quarterback in Texas, and I'm from Austin.
Thanks for being here, Ben. This is going to be a very exciting reaction video because we both go to UT. He's a quarterback of Texas, and is featuring Matthew McConaughey. Want to tell us a bit more about the connection that Matthew McConaughey has to the school?
Yeah, he's Minister of Culture, as he says, and he's obviously a big part of Texas. He's kind of honestly like the celebrity face of Texas, if you will. And what's cool about him is he always comes to our practices and tries to be around the players as much as possible. So that's what I got to say.
Yeah, he basically is a symbol, right, for our school. So it's going to be super cool. And with that,
Let's do it.
Namaskaram, good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, Sadhguru.
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Where do you find yourself?
Right now I'm somewhere in southwestern corner of Georgia, just about to enter Florida, maybe Burnswick, somewhere around that.
All right. Well, I'm in Austin, Texas.
Oh, that's good.
An hour ahead of me.
Yeah, but you look at my background, it looks like I'm in Amazon forest.
Yeah, man. I knew you were somewhere where it's fertile and a bit jungly. Yeah. You going around on the book tour?
Yes, meeting people, talking, doing a little bit of, meeting people, that's it. No major events because pandemic, no assemblies, but just individual people.
That's my last year. I wrote a book, Greenlight, to put it out, and I did it all virtual. It was all this for a year. There were some people that I missed being there in person.
Greenlight?
Yeah,
But I must say that in a lot of
Matthew
ways,
McConaughey's book. Check it
this
out, y'all.
way of communicating is very intentional. I mean, because I was in, Milan, Italy at 9 a.m., London, England at 10, New York at 11, LA at 12, and when
What
the LA
kind of jet-
meeting was
what
over
kind
at
of
1,
jet
I was
do you
having lunch
use,
with my
Matthew?
family. What's that?
What jet do you use?
This jet, that's what I mean. And I was like, look, I was all over the world, and I was done at 1 o'clock. In 30 seconds when I was done, I was having lunch with my kids. I was like, this system's okay. I kind of like this in ways.
I think in 2020, probably I've done 4 times more work than I would normally do traveling.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah. Still finding time to get on your motorcycle.
Yes, but right now, this trip I'm driving a truck with a small camper, so not entering any hotels or homes, just living on the truck, cooking for myself and managing things.
I'm in, I've got 4 Airstreams.
Uh-huh.
And I'm in one of them now in my backyard, and this is what I take on the road right here, in this particular Airstream.
I got something that can go off-road, a little small, not very… that way it's not big as an Airstream, but this will go where you want.
Nice. Nice. Well, cool, man. I'm glad we're gonna get to talk for a little while. Say howdy. I'm glad to meet you. I got a friend of mine, Mark Benioff, who's turned me on to you. He's an avid listener of yours.
How's Mark? Is he in Hawaii or in California?
No, he's over further west, Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii, that's what I asked. He told me last time he was in Hawaii.
Yeah, yes, he's doing good. He's the one who turned me on to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. let me love to ask you a few questions. We'll get some conversations about all this good stuff. You know, you're opening on karma, and this we could spend hours talking about this because this is my juice here when we say like lift the haze of the contradictions. Let's talk about some haze lifting on the contradiction. There's a symbol to me that has meant a lot to me. It comes from the Bible, Matthew 6:22. It's the mandorla, and it's saying that, and even Ralph Waldo Emerson talks about it. We talk about future and past. We talk about heaven and hell. We talk about good and evil, and we see these contradictions that butt each other. And the mandorla covers itself and is the third eye in the middle, and says that spot is the spot of paradox. That spot is where all the truth lies. That's where all the colors of the truth lies. It's not a contradictory shade of gray and compromise. It's actually where all the good stuff is. Paradox has been very helpful for me in understanding and having a high eye, a third eye, and not being so dualistic. Let's talk about that a little bit. Can you jump on that?
Yes, Matthew, what is contradictory is essentially in the psychological space of the human being. In reality, existentially, nothing is contradictory, everything is complementary to everything else. Is the day contradictory to the night? No, it is complementary. If it was all day, you wouldn't know what is night. If it's all night, you wouldn't know what is day. So essentially, human perception itself, because it is through five sense organs, it can only always perceive only a part of it.
Perspective.
Yeah.
See, if I show you this part of my hand, you cannot see this part. If I see this, if you see this, you cannot see this. This is the nature of all our perception. All the five senses are able to perceive only with the context, otherwise they cannot. So because of that, because we are fed with this kind of part information, our mind tends to think that everything is contradictory to everything else. Man is contradictory to woman, night is contradictory to day, light is contradictory to darkness. No, they're all complementary to each other. It is just that because our perception is so fragmented, five sense organs are made that way. These sense organs are only good for survival process. If you want to know, they are no good. They are only good to help you to survive on this planet. That you can do by perceiving things clearly through your sense perception. If you want to know life the way it is, if you want to know this phenomena of life the way it is, you have to go beyond your sense perception. In a way, the entire yogic science is all about this. Even the karma that we are talking about is all about this, because all the karmic inputs are in this sense, bits and pieces of information out of which we are trying to make something. This is like a child starting to, let us say, we give him a 1,000,000-piece jigsaw. He puts 4 pieces together and says, here I got it, this is a bear, all right? But there are 1,000,000 other pieces that you have never seen. So, looking at life in pieces through keyhole visions makes everything look like one is against the other. But in existentially, nothing against anything else, because as we sit here, see, that is your body, this is my body. This is my mind, that is your mind. What you call as my body, what I call as my body is what I have accumulated is my body, what you have accumulated is your body. What I have accumulated in impressions is my mind, what you have accumulated as impressions is your mind. But there is no such thing as my life and your life. This is a living cosmos. You have gathered a little bit, I have gathered a little bit, we're enjoying that. The privilege of creation is, the magnanimity of creation is that though we are really nothing in this existence, it has given us an individual experience, which is a tremendous, tremendous privilege. Unfortunately, human beings are not able to appreciate or understand this privilege. Though you are not even a speck of dust in this cosmos, you have an individual experience. You can look at it from your own end, as if you are a whole universe yourself. But if you take this individuality too seriously, everything will be contradictory. Once it's contradictory, as you get more invested in these contradictions, conflict is a natural outcome, you know.
Yes, heard.
So Ben, this was an exciting one. I mean, seeing Matthew McConaughey and seeing Sadhguru kind of just collaborate on this video. Being a Longhorn yourself, a quarterback for UT or Texas, what were your first impressions after watching this?
I mean, it kind of just makes you think about how successful people are successful. Like, I mean, if you have good perspective and like do good, then you're gonna do good things. If you're not doing what people are telling you to do for you to do what you want, then you're not gonna do well. You know, that's kind of how it is with football too, honestly. Like, if the good people are good for a reason, they're not. It's like that's just how it works. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I think he was also talking quite a bit about contradictions and like good versus bad, and essentially how, at least from what Matthew McConaughey shared, and as well as what Sadhguru is talking about, it's not even contradictory. It's actually complementary. What did that mean to you?
I mean, it shows why everything in our world is the way it is. Like he talked about, if you're a girl, then you're complementary to a guy.
Not contradictory.
Yeah, not contradictory. So, yeah.
I think it's important to realize how even within the words of contradiction, complementary, it's all about perspective, right? So you can see white and black, or girl and boy, or dark and light as contradictions, or you can even choose to see that as compliments, right? So it all comes down to perspective. I think perspective is really important. And it also goes to show how towards the end of the video, he was talking about, at least the end of the first portion of the video that we watched, how we have so much, and it's like a miracle, right? Like this life itself that we have, it's a miracle to be able to experience, to live, to dance, to sing, to play sports. Yet at the same time, I think a lot of us are like suffering, and we're just like miserable and stressed. What do you think about that part?
I mean, it just shows like there's two different ways, I guess you could go.
You either appreciate or not, right?
You can either appreciate all your blessings, or you could not and just be miserable all the time. So
what keeps you going in terms of like being grateful and like appreciative? Like what's your advice to those that are not as optimistic? I'm sure, you know, being a football player, being optimistic I think is super important, right? So what's your advice to those that are more negative and pessimistic?
You could either look in the mirror and be like, I want to get out of this situation that I'm in, or, I mean, because everybody's blessed in a different way, or you could just, you know, realize that you're not in a good situation and you can just try and get out of it. So, I don't know. I think that realizing your blessings is like a big deal. Like, I mean, I said this earlier, like everyone's dealt a different hand. So, I mean, you just got to deal with what you're blessed with and deal with what you're not blessed with, and decide if you want to do it or not. So
as simple as that. I think the key here also is to emphasize the perspective word, as well as not only what you're given or what you do, but how you do it, right? So doing it with that optimism, doing it with passion, giving it your all. I think that's super important, being a player or whatever. Just being forget a football player, man, being a life player, right? Give your all to everything you do.
I mean, you'll always be happy if you just like give your all to whatever it is you're doing. So
that's it, man. Beautiful, simple advice there. Thank you so much for being here, man. I want to appreciate you for your time. I want to appreciate you all for watching, and want to let the viewers know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Snapchat, BenBallard_5.
All the stuff will be down below. And if you have any other video reaction requests, topics, or guests that you want to see on the show, you can also comment down below. And with that, make a great day, take it joyful, and stay conscious. Awesome job, Ben.
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em, you did great. Awesome job, my man. Solid stuff.